Good day, everyone. In today's tutorial, we'll cover the step-by-step process of installing Windows Server 2012 R2 in a virtual machine called VirtualBox. We'll also explore the initial configuration steps to get your server up and running smoothly. The first thing you have to do is to visit the official website and navigate to the download section for Windows Server 2012 R2. You have to click this appropriate link to download the ISO file. We just have to register our free trial because I think this is based on a subscription. So we have to first fill out our personal information. And then we have to select this 64-bit edition ISO downloads. So click this, and then it's now downloading. So now that the ISO file has been downloaded, as you can see here, we can now open the VirtualBox. Now that we're here in the home page, we can now click on the new button and now create the virtual machine operating system. The first thing we have to do is to give our virtual machine a name, like Windows Server 2012. And then we can select a folder from our files. And then here, we have to select the type Microsoft Windows and then the Windows 2012 64-bit. And click on Next. So the next thing we have to do is to allocate at least 2 gigabytes of RAM for our virtual machine. We have to allocate at least 2 gigabytes of RAM so that equates into 2048 MB. So we can click the Next. And then we have to click the Create a Virtual Hard Disk now and select our desired disk type. We can now click on to Next. We can now click on to Finish. So now that we've actually created our own virtual machine, we can now go to settings. So now we have to go to system. We have to enable hardware clock and UTC time, enable EFI, and also enable secure boot. Click on OK. Then we click on storage. And here we can see this empty component. We have to click that. And then we have to click this miniature or small disk icon. We can click that. And then let's click this file. Okay. Now that we're done customizing our settings, we can now click on the start icon. Here we can now see the Windows setup window or page. And here I'm just gonna put it in default, and then we have to click now Next. I recommend going with this one. After clicking Next, we are now in the license terms. You have to click I accept the license terms, and then click Next. We are now in the installation type. So I prefer you pick or you select the custom. Now installation. We are here in the space we want to install Windows. Since we have the drive 0, we have to click this, and then click New, and now I click the Apply or select Apply, and then click OK. Click on Next. We now see these partitions. We want to select drive 0 partition 4, and then click Next. And now the Windows is installing. Now we're in the settings part. So we have to type a password for our account to be used to sign in to our Windows server or our computer. After you've typed or re-entered your password, click Finish. So now that we're in this section, we have to click this icon and then click on the on-screen keyboard. So we have to press Control, Alt, and delete to sign in. And now we have to type our password, then click Enter. So now the installation has been completed. So now that the installation is actually done, we're now in the server manager, specifically the dashboard area. So the first thing we have to do is to actually configure the server. Okay, so we have to click on this one, the IPv4 address assigned by DHCP. We click that one. The Ethernet, right click it, then click on status, then click on the details, then we have to take note of the IP address. Then click on close, and go into the properties, and then click the Internet Protocol version 4, and then double click it, and then we have to put the IP address. We have to click the use the following IP address. We have to put on the IP address from what we've seen on the details part a while ago. Click on OK, click OK, click on close. After doing that, you have to go to the dashboard, then click on the Add Roles and Features, then click Next, then we still have to click Next, and then we have to click this one, and then click Add Features. So after checking the Active Directory Domain Services, click on Next. And then you have to check the Group Policy Management, and then after checking the Group Policy Management, click on Next, and click Install. The installation process has begun. So after the installation has been completed, we have to set up a domain controller. So we have to click this, and then we have to add a new forest, and then we have to enter a root domain name. So the test.local I have inputted is actually an unusual domain name, the one that doesn't exist on the internet. So we have to click now on Next, and then specifically we're now in the directory services restore mode password. You have to input a password. So after setting up your password, you have to click Next. Click Next. The NetBIOS domain name is actually now test, and then you have to click on Next. Then click Next. Click Next. Then now we have to click on Install. So now that the Windows server has officially been restarted, we have to log in using the created account we've actually created a while ago. So still, click on this icon, and then click on screen keyboard, click Control Alt and Delete, and then as it says here, test administrator because of our domain name as test. So we have to put our password, then click enter. Now we're now in our Windows server from the test administrator. So now we have to create our organizational units by going on to tools, and then click on the Active Directory users and computers. And then next we have to click on the test logo, right click, and then click on new, and then click on this organizational unit category, and then we have to input a name. I have to input this. Then click on OK, and then click on the test local again, and then do the same steps for about 2 times. So now that we've created our main groups, we have to create groups for each files or each directories. I'm gonna click on headquarters, and then right click, select new, and then select organizational unit, and then headquarters. Then click OK. Same goes to the other two. After creating the subgroups or subfiles for each directory, we have to create or set up user groups by right clicking on the desired location. So I have to select headquarters, right click, and then new, click on group. So now I have to input a group name. Make sure that the security is on or selected, and also the group scope, which is global. So we have to now click on OK. And then I have to create another one.
Same process goes to CM East and CM West.
So now that we've created groups for our departments, we now have to create users for our departments. So the first thing you have to do is to right click this portion or this part, right click it, and then click on new, and then click on user. So you have to indicate the names of your users, whichever choice or desire you want to input. Once you've clicked on next, you have to indicate the password of your choice. So after you're done inputting your password or typing your password, click on next, and then click finish. Now, as you can see here, there's actually a user that has been created. So now that the user has already been created to this department, you have to click the user again, or right click the user to add it to the group, or add it to the side group of your choice. So again, right click the user and then add to group. And then in this part, you have to input the names of the desired group of your choice, or the group name or the group you've created a while back. So I'm gonna put in administrative, as I've created this group a while ago. Then click on that one. As you can see, there are actually names or folders created in this department. So I have to click on this, or you can choose administrative HR, but I'm going to choose administrative, and then click on OK. As you can see, there's actually a group selected since the word has actually been underlined. And then click on OK. Click on OK. So to check if the user has actually been successfully added to the group, you can go onto the group administrative, since that's where you've designated the user, and then right click it, and then click on the properties, and then click on the members. As you can see, the user has already been added. And then click on OK. Now that you've actually created one user in the headquarters department, we can now create another user in the other departments. If you want John Lee to be in the Sales CM East department as well, you can right click on this, and then right click it, go to the properties, go to the members, and then search, and then click on add, and then the name of the user. So the name of my user is John Lee. Then check names. And then as you can see here, it automatically generated the John Lee name since it has actually been created as a user. So click on OK. So as you can see here, the user John Lee has already been created or has already been added to the Sales CM East group or department. Click on OK. Yes. So the next steps we have to do are move, disable, or delete users and objects as needed. As you can see here in this directory, there is this user John Lee. For example, John Lee has already been promoted to the headquarters. So we can actually move John Lee user to the headquarters. Just right click John Lee, and then move, and then click on headquarters, and then click on OK. So as you can see here, John Lee has already been removed to this directory. Now let's move on to the headquarters. Now, as you can see here, John Lee user has been moved from the CMEs directory to the headquarters directory. And then we have to add this user. So we have to right click on John Lee. So as you can see here, this is the properties of John Lee. And then you have to click on the member of. So since John Lee has already been moved to the headquarters portion or headquarters directory, so we have to remove these two roles because John Lee has already been promoted. So remove. You want to remove? Yes. Click on yes. And then click apply. Click on OK. Now, the next step you have to do is disabling the user. So we have to right click on John Lee. And then click this disable. And then object John Lee has been disabled. Click on OK. As simple as that, John Lee has already been disabled because there is an icon over here to tell or to check if John Lee or if this user has been disabled. So the next step we have to do is enabling John Lee user. Right click John Lee and then enable account. And then we're done. So the next thing we have to do is to delete this user John Lee. Right click on John Lee and then delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Click yes. And the user John Lee has already been deleted from this directory. So our server has a group policy, a tool enabling us to deploy policies and settings for users and computers within the domain. To proceed, go to Tools, and then select Group Policy Management. Now, you have to look for the default domain policy. It's actually under the test.local category. So we have to right-click this one, and then click on Edit. And then in here, you have to click on the computer configuration, click on the policies, and then click on the Windows setting. And then you have to go to security settings. For example, let's change the password policy. Click account policy, and then the password policy, click it. And then in here, we can edit the policies under password settings. So we can choose whatever we want. We can just double click it, and then we have to decide, and then we have to set the desired policy, and then click apply and OK. So we can double click this. We can actually edit this one. I'm gonna go for 30 days. Then click on apply, and then click on OK. Then the minimum password age, I can click on 3, and apply, and then OK. We can actually set our desired policies we want for our password management. As easy as that, we have managed the group policy management. So that's actually the way on how we can edit our password policy in the group policy management. So after setting the password policies in the group policy management, we can actually stop there. But there's actually another feature I want to show you. It is to install a web server IIS through the server manager. By doing that, we can click on the tools. As you can see here, we can't really see the Internet Information Services Manager category. So after installing your web server to the server management, click on the tools, and then go into the Internet Information Services Manager. And then click on this one, click on the arrow, and then click on sites, right click it, and then add website. Now, you can add the website and enter the desired name and other details, and then you can now click OK. After typing your desired information, you have to click on OK. As you can see, there's already the website here. So to browse the website, just go to sites again, the arrow here, and then click on the My Website, and then go to directory browsing. And then enable all. And then to browse your website, just click here, this part, browse website category, and then click it. So as you can see here, the website is actually accessible now, and that's how you can actually browse a website. Thank you for watching this video.